Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News on 3FM. My name is Beatrice Adu. The news is also live on Kazmi 107.1 FM and across the world at 3news.com. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Supreme Court grants leave for lawyers of Richard Sky to amend one of their reliefs in the landmark case challenging the passage of the anti-LGBTQ bill by Parliament. Also coming up, the Electoral Commission appears to have picked up the pieces after major glitches on day one of the voter registration exercise. The day two has been smooth sailing so far. And much later on the program, Fair Wages and Salaries Commission claims it has saved the taxpayer over 198 million cedis as at the end of 2023, following a rigorous payroll monitoring exercise. Thank you very much for joining us. Now, the Supreme Court has directed one of the plaintiffs against the passage of the anti-LGBTQ bill to refile their motion for an injunction on Parliament. The plaintiff, Richard Delasky, sought to prevent the legislature from proceeding with processes leading to the passage of the bill. Sky has been granted until May 17 to file the motion for injunction, supporting affidavit and statement of case. The court says it does not want to be confronted with any further requests for amendments, so they should just file everything again. The case has since been adjourned indefinitely. The Apex Court is hearing the two applications filed by Amanda Odoi and Richard Delasky separately, with the proceedings being televised upon the request of the Attorney General. Take a listen to excerpts of proceedings in relation to objection by a lawyer for the Speaker to an application by lawyers for Richard Delasky to amend their reliefs.
I can see what his difficulty is. When you read, you can see he left out some words. You chose to denigrate that what happened in his expressions by describing it as muddled and confused. And the man now wants to correct himself by expressing it fully. And you say you have a preliminary legal objection.
Yes, my lady.
Where is the legality?
Because, the legality lies in the fact that the motion paper invokes the jurisdiction of the court. And if there is an irregularity on the face of the motion paper, which I am pointing out as the foundation to which I am not accepting what he has found.
No, hold on.
Yes.
Which motion paper?
His motion for injunction.
The man is not seeking... Hold on.
Yes.
Whenever I start, stop.
Oh.
You are going to interrupt me.
Very well.
Then you wouldn't hear what I have to say.
Very well, my lady.
The man's application is not to amend his motion paper. His application is to amend his reliefs.
Very good. And my lady will realize that I'm saying in paragraph 7 that his first relief is modeled up in a difficult to understand.
Hold on.
And there's a second
Stop. Yes. And this is why I'm telling you that the application before us is to correct that muddled up expression. Do you not see that?
And so I'm saying, so my point is that is my objection to it. But
he should not correct himself.
Oh yes, because you see,
he should not.
Yeah, there's authority on this from this court on that point. That once there's an objection taken to it, you cannot overreach that objection with a proposal to amend.
Hold on.
So that's all I'm drawing the court's attention to.
Stop there, Mr. Stop there.
Yes,
stop there.
And you heard that court exchange there. I'm joined by Lord Edwasare. He is with our legal desk right here. Lord, you've been monitoring proceedings for us. The last one we heard was on Amanda Odoi. What more can you tell us? Because we saw some disagreement with a bench of justices.
All right, thank you, Beatrice. So essentially, Dr. Amanda Odoi's lawyers were moving for his motions to be heard. But even before that, the lawyer representing Speaker of Parliament, Sergio Story, according to the Apex Court, held that some words or language that he used in his document opposing the motion that Dr. Amanda Odoi's lawyers had moved were, in their words, scandalous and intemperate. And so the court ruled that he goes back to the drawing board and file his opposing document or his affidavit of opposition to counter that motion that has been filed by Dr. Amanda Odoy. And so he's been given about 7 days to do that, for which the court will be back to hear the matter on the arguments of the anti-LGBT.
So that's on that one. We also do know that other cases questioning the constitutionality of the bill was adjourned. What details can you give us?
So the first one had to do with broadcast journalist and lawyer Richard, the last guy. In the same vein, his lawyer, the court held that some of his comments in his motion were equally scandalous, and so he was told to go back and then refile them because, per the court, the words that he had used were not fit. I mean, the AG argued that they were sins to the rule of law, and there are orders to which some of these things should be filed, and the language that the lawyer for Richard Delaska used were not wholesome and were scandalous, and the Apex Court agreed with him and urged him to go and refile his motion, and so that has also been adjourned to May 17 for him to do that.
All right, we'll come to you later for more, but that was Lord Edward Sare bringing us details from the Supreme Court. Meanwhile, member of the Council of State and senior lawyer Samuel Kudjeto is criticizing the anti-LGBTQ bill. He says that the whole idea is senseless. The comment comes as the court and parliament face it off on the legality of the bill itself, as you just heard. This would come months after parliament passed it, awaiting presidential assent. In an exclusive interview with 3FM, Samuel Kudjeto said that Ghanaians are sidetracking themselves.
Where a man and woman go and sleep in their bedroom, is that my business? Is that my business what they do in their bedroom? How does that affect the economy? How does that put food out of my mouth? Does that affect my education? So I have a different view altogether.
So this bill is useless?
I think the whole concept to me, it is completely out of the issue because we have preoccupied, we even tried to induce the churches. They are all running around, sign the LGBT issue. I wanted to ask them a simple question, and you help me there. I will ask them, all the sins which are listed in the Bible, what have they been doing about it? The LGBT is the only one they've seen. We talk about corruption also. And corruption, I will tell you why. From the messenger to the top, every one of us is involved.
So when you say the whole concept, what exactly do you mean?
What do I mean? What I'm trying to say is that we have so much obsessed ourselves with this question about LGBT. We thought nothing else matters. It was as if, as I told one big Osofo, it's as if war has been waged against Ghana. And so all of us must mobilize ourselves to defend ourselves.
But the president has a choice to sign.
No, please, I'm not concerned. That's the president's business, not my business. That is the president's business. You can't even ask me that question. No. In the position in which I occupy, don't ask me. But I'm just telling you my personal view. I am telling you my personal view on this whole issue. As soon as they raise it like that, I ask myself, I say, the problem which are rising, you walk around, you see the young children running around the street. They have not gone to school. When in the early 60s, there were laws to say that compulsory education, that every child must go to school. We see them running around, begging, nothing. You see people living in filthy areas. Sometimes, what's his name, a container where a whole family is sleeping. We don't look at that and say that these are things which are wrong in our country. What do we do about it? And then we are preoccupied about a man sleeping with a man or a woman sleeping with a woman as being a national issue for which all of us are in arms. So this is what I am saying.
Yes, so the question I was asking was, and of course you are not the president like you said, you're not the one to sign.
No.
But you've been a member of parliament before.
I have been.
So why would an AG advise the president, don't even bring it?
If you think the AG is wrong, use the law against him.
You don't think so?
I say use it against, that's not me. That's not my business.
But you don't think so? You know the parliamentary rules.
No, but I am just telling you that for me, the whole thing about LGBT is a nonsense issue. It should not have become in the first place. And I'm saying that the problems which are facing the country are numerous. We can all work together to try and resolve them and solve them gradually, because it's not one day affair. It's a multifarious problem. Let us not sidetrack ourselves.
Should we throw this bill away then?
I think we are sidetracking ourselves. You don't get it. Please don't ask me about the LGBT bill, what Parliament has done, has not done. I'm just saying that I'm expressing my personal view that as soon as this matter arose and people were screaming and churches were getting, and I said, what's wrong with our people? I say, I read my Bible. I study my Bible all the time. And I know about sin. What happened? What happened to the Jews when they were taken into exile? Was it about LGBT? No. It was in the injustice in the system. That was the reason why God punished them.
But if I'm glad you talked about the Bible, and this just wrapping up our conversation. The Bible is very clear on it. If you're going by the arguments of the Bible.
I am saying that there are numerous sins. You didn't hear me. There are numerous sins named in the Bible. If you talk about homosexuality, it's only one aspect of it. Why should that one become the predominant issue that the whole nation is in arms, screaming and shouting? That is my issue.
Your final words.
That's
And you heard Samuel Kudjato. He's a senior lawyer and member of the Council of State. Well, it seems the religious leaders may have their own views as against what Mr. Kudjato is saying, because the Ghana Catholic Bishops' Conference is rather appealing to the National Civic Commission to educate the general public on the dangers of the LGBTQ group and activities. President of the Ghana Catholic Bishops' Conference, Most Reverend Matthew Kwesi Gyamfi, speaking to 3FM after the chairperson of the commission paid a working visit on them, said that despite the case being in court, it does not prevent the NCCE from educating the public on the dangers of the activities. He spoke with Joseph Armstrong.
We have no business in the court. We are talking of Ghanaian values. And when they did even go to court? Only recently. So all along, we could have spoken against it. And we know it's a negative value. It doesn't help community. Just like prostitution. I believe they may be talking against it in the civic education, educating young men and women not to get involved in prostitution, not to get into drugs, to say that I feel like when I take drugs, I'm okay. No, I believe they know that it is not good for them. What is good is good. And it has nothing to do with the civil NCCE that it is in court or what. They are not going to affect the court's decision. They are only telling what fundamentally is Ghanaian and is good for Ghanaian. And something that is negative, that is not good for Ghanaian. And whilst Parliament is doing it, whilst we priests are talking about it from the pulpit,
and you heard the president of the Ghana Catholic Bishops' Conference, Most Reverend Matthew Kwesi Gyamfi. Now, after initial setbacks in several areas, the limited voter registration exercise by the Electoral Commission appears to be gaining momentum on day 2. Despite the challenges encountered on the first day, the registration process is now proceeding smoothly across some district offices which had challenges yesterday. The Electoral Commission was heavily criticized for the registration delays that plagued the initial rollout. The process encountered technical challenges resulting in delays and long queues. Now, with the registration process now back on track, stakeholders are hopeful for a seamless and efficient electoral process. The EC is aiming to enroll approximately 623,000 first-time voters nationwide. Noble Crosby Annan has been to some registration centers. He joins us live on the line. Noble, seems like prospective registrants must be happy of what's happening.
Well, that would have been a few minutes ago, but after the system was resolved for today, day 2 of the exercise, the system will understand has gone back to how it was yesterday, and I'm talking about the challenges it was facing. So as I speak with you, are the 5 district officers I am currently are the old office of the Electoral Commission, and these 5 district officers comprise of the Ayawaso Central, Ayawaso West, Ayawaso North, Ayawaso East, and the Kole Klote district. Now, the system, we understand, is down again. So, prospective registrants, or first time those are unable to go through the process as they anticipated, because during the day it was working perfectly, but now it is not as smooth as they expected to be. That's the situation here at the moment. But earlier in the day, when the system was working as expected, the party representatives at these centers, they were making accusations over trying to register non-constituent. So the NDC would accuse the MPP of attempting to register non-constituent. The MPP would do the same to the NDC. And that was just a little bit of some misunderstanding around these district officers of the Electoral Commission here at the old office of the Electoral Commission. I spoke with a few of them on their expectations for day 2 before the system went down, and this is what they had to say.
Have any problem? It's going as we want. The only challenges is what the people are doing, trying to intimidate the guys from registering. That is the only thing we are opposed to.
Okay.
Yes, anybody that comes here, we will not challenge anybody. We don't want anybody to feel that he's not a Ghanaian. So we will go and sack the person from the line. We will not do that. Okay. But the best thing we can do is to take a challenge from. We will challenge them.
Okay.
Those we think are not from the constituency, we will do that at the right time.
Okay.
But as for them, they look at your face and determine where you are coming from.
Okay.
And that is not what the EC law stands for.
Yesterday, there was a network challenge, a technical challenge that delayed the process or affected the smooth registration. How was day 2 like?
Today we haven't experienced that issue. We haven't experienced that. I'm hoping that we'll continue like this, the way things are going.
Day 2, how has day 2 been for you?
Day 2, from the beginning, it was okay. Though today the machines are okay, they are working all right. It's not like yesterday. But what I observed that there are some people here, some registrants here that, to me, when they are asking them questions, they cannot express themselves.
And you heard there some registrants are the ongoing limited voter registration exercise right here in Accra. From Accra, we head to the northern region. Christopher Amwako is there for us. Christopher, we know that ahead of this exercise, the NDC has made some allegations of registering minors and busing people. Is that happening even at the exercise as it enters day 2?
Beatrice, so as it stands now, none of the allegations made by the NDC have come to light at the registration centers. I've been to the Sanarico District EC office. I've also been to the Tamale Metro EC office. They are yet to register people coming in that form. All the people who have been coming to the registration centers come from the communities around the constituencies that make up the 2 EC districts. So as it stands now, there hasn't been any such case happening at any of the registration centers.
Chris, also school children have only been given 4 days break, and considering the challenges that characterized the exercise, especially yesterday, do you think the students would be able to go through the process before the deadline, looking at the numbers?
So because what the officers are doing in collaboration with the political party agents is that those from the various senior high schools who have been given 4 days to go and take part in the exercise, if they are taking 5 as they go, it means 3 of them will be from the senior high schools and 2 will be those that are in the community. So they are making sure that they factor them in so that they'll be able to go through the process well. In fact, I have also been told that from tomorrow when the exercise begins, they are going to concentrate on the students so that when they are done and they leave, the others can also take their turn.
Thank you very much, Christopher Amako, reporting live from the northern region. We go to the Ashanti region, and there too of the voter registration exercise has begun smoothly at the Asokore Mampong EC office, but not without challenges though, and counter allegations of busing non-resident of Aswase constituency to register. Man Ibrahim Abubakar has been monitoring all of this for us. He joins us live as well. Ibrahim, what can you tell us?
So, Beatrice, with regards to the allegations, that has been it. We see the political parties bringing in most of the applicants to come and register. And they are saying that they have to do it because some of them live far away from the registration center. And for some of them, too, there is no motivation for them to come and register. So this is a way of also making sure that they complement the work of the Electoral Commission by bringing them here to come and register. But for them, there is no guarantee that you bringing someone to register here may necessarily vote for you. So they do not understand why there are other candidates, that's the MPP and NDC. It's the NDC rather who is alleging that the MPP is busing people from other constituencies to come here. We all know that Aswase has been a stronghold for the NDC when it comes to the Ashanti region. And they believe that the MPP is just doing this deliberately to bridge the votes or the gap here. But the MPP too is saying that is not the case. They have admitted they are busing people here, but these are only residents who are within the Asawase constituency.
Ibrahim, briefly before you go, I know you've been to some flashpoints in your region. What can you tell us about what's happening there?
Well, so far today the registration has been very, very smoothly and very, very peaceful. The Asokore Mampong, for instance, which has been a flashpoint for so many years. Yesterday, they even managed to issue cards to 120 applicants, whilst other centers were even issuing cards to 16 and even 20. Today, they are hoping that by the close of the day, over 300 will receive their cards. Same applies to other areas like Tepa, where yesterday there were even blows flying because of the delay in process. Because today everything is going on smoothly, there is peace in almost all the registration centers.
Indeed, wonderful. Thank you very much, Ibrahim Abubakar, for bringing us that update from the constituencies you've been to, monitoring the ongoing limited voter registration exercise for us. Well, in the Western region, that exercise at the Takoradi Technical University has been suspended. My colleague in that region, Irama Smith, reports that those who went there this morning were left stranded.
Limited registration center of the Takoradi Technical University. We came to meet a couple of people, and even as we are here, a few keep on trickling in, and they also do not know exactly what is happening. I have been speaking to some who tell me that they had actually come here yesterday, and they didn't have any information about today this happening. So there's a bit of confusion here. Some have decided to wait in the hopes of the officials coming here, but others just give up and then leave. Listen to those I have been interacting with.
So I was here yesterday at 1 p.m. and I had to join the queue, and when it was around 6 p.m., we're told to go and come back today for TTU students. And I'm here this morning, but then I'm assuming they are not yet in. Probably they'll come later in the morning. So I'm just sitting here waiting till they come.
I came here about 1 hour ago, and I was expecting them to be here before I came here. But since we came here, we haven't met anyone, and no one has told us anything. So we are still waiting for them to come to issue the card for us.
Irama Smith brought us that report earlier. Now, in the wake of the challenges that confronted the first day of the limited registration exercise, running mate to the NDC, flag bearer John Mahama is advising the Electoral Commission to take into consideration extension of the exercise to cater for the delays. Professor Nana Jane Opoku Ajuman, on a tour of some centres in Accra, said that the posturing of the EC must be that which carries all Ghanaians on board.
Well, yesterday was chaotic, as we all know. The machines weren't working. Many places hadn't started on time, as was advertised. And therefore, today is much better. And my hope is that it continues, as it should. And in terms of yesterday, I know there are machines and so on, but one would not have expected that on such a large scale, there'll be consistent problems. So definitely, if there were places, as I hear, where not even a single person was registered, or where very, very few people were registered because of challenges with the machines, then definitely the EC must make up for that time. If it's an extra day, it should be restored. Whatever it is, if it's a couple of hours, it should be extended to the following day.
The position you have is that, one, the first day was a chaotic one and a frustrated one. However, the EC should start considering an extension of the sort to cater for those who have it.
The days are allocated for a reason. Therefore, if there's 1 day short, I'm sure there'll be a reason. And it's only fair, I think, that that day is restored to places where the machines never worked, where nobody was ever registered. It may be a very useful suggestion.
And that was running mate to John Mahama, Professor Nana Jane Opoku Ajiman. You're still here on the Midday News on 3FM. Our stories we brought you so far. Supreme Court grants leave for lawyers of Richard Sky to amend one of their release in the landmark case challenging the passage of the anti-LGBTQ bill by Parliament. We also brought you that information that cases have been suspended indefinitely. Electoral Commission appears to have picked up the pieces after major glitches on day one of the voter registration exercise. We brought you updates from across the country. Let's bring you some new development on the ongoing Cecilia Dapa case and that scandal. And the executive director of the Ghana Integrity Initiative, Mary Adu, says that excuses for the former sanitation minister cannot hold. Responding to comment by the Council of State member Samuel Kujeto, Mary Adu stressed that Madam Dapa must be investigated.
Impression is that we have made nonsense of everything that has happened from the Attorney General's advice, but then we know the police is investigating. And if I remember correctly, the OSP at the point said they were handing over to the Yoku because they couldn't find any other source. But then that didn't mean the issue is closed. And so there is still opportunity to look into it if there is any other information or further and better particulars to attest to the fact that there is something else. Until such a time, the police can also diligently do this. And I think it's not a missing opportunity for Yoku if there is more information that can be made available to them to do so, and I believe that they have the mandate and they have the capacity to investigate.
And you heard that Mary Adu, she is with the Ghana Integrity Initiative. And that's how we end the news here on 3FM. My name is Beatrice Adu. Thank you so much for joining us today. Log on to 3news.com for more news. Good afternoon.